Oh, hey folks, Leave here once again. We're recording. Okay, we're on. Hey guys, just wearing my YouTube shirt here. Remember, my YouTube channel's name is Levi McNally 983 with a mask profile picture. Thank you guys for 281 subs. We're getting there for 300 subs. We're getting there. But anyway, guys, welcome back to another review. Hope y'all might enjoy my review slash epic rant on Thor: Love and Thunder. That's on my channel right now. If y'all want to check that out. And guys, when you subscribe to me, don't forget to click the um the bell, the little bell, when you click it, it will let you know when I do, upload the next review. When I upload a review, it also probably lets you know about my YouTube post, like community post. I mean, about the next review. So, and when I upload that video for that review or video, same thing. But it'll let you know. It'll notify you. Just get all personalized. That way you'll know. Yeah, and definitely share my channel. I do appreciate that. Sharing is caring. Sharing is also being supportive. Anyway, guys, what I've been doing on my YouTube channel is a superhero marathon, and I've been doing what I call the 2020s era of superhero reviews. Sorry for the burping, excuse me. Just ate two Bojangles biscuits, so anyway, like I said, 2020s era superhero reviews. These superhero movies that came out in the 2020 the decade that we're living in now, starting with 2020 to 2025, and I'm on the year 2022. I got a couple more movies, not too many, but this is a DC animated movie. Yes, that came out in 2022. Yeah, this came out direct to video on July 26th, 2022, and it is a DC animated film. It is the 40th film installment in the DC Universe animated original movies, and it's the fifth film set in the DC animated universe second phase, which is the Tomorrowverse. They call it, starting with Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and that is of course Green Lantern, Beware My Power. Yeah, the movie having to do with John Stewart. Yeah. You probably know the character if you've seen the Justice League or Justice League Unlimited cartoon. You probably know who the character is. Yeah. You do have some special features on here, like John Stewart, The Power and Glory. You got two bonus cartoons, which are the Blackest Night episodes. I think those were the fifth or sixth episodes or something of Justice League. I'm talking about season one, when John Stewart got set up for murder. So if you don't have the Justice League show, you have this on Blu-ray, DVD, or whatever. You can see that, and you also the original. Who was the original voice of the character in the show? Phil Lamar, I think his name is. I'm sorry, but I think he's the one that voiced. Yeah, you can interview with him too in here, talking about the character and even doing the voice. Yeah. Not that the voice cast was bad in here, but let me get the yeah, got the film on. Let's just flip over. I got the film on Blu-ray. Really good movie. My favorite Green Lantern movie is still Green Lantern First Flight. I know everybody hates it. I like the 2011 movie, but to me, my least favorite is Emerald Knights. I don't care for Emerald Knights. I don't hate it, but I don't really care for it. It's for me, it's I would say the worst one because, in my opinion, I can't say worst, but it is my least favorite. And this one, I would say I liked it more than Emerald Knights, and I do like it more than the 2011 film, starring Ryan Reynolds, even though I like that movie. But I do think it's better than Emerald Knights, in my opinion. But this was a good movie, you know. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't completely perfect, no, but but it was good. I really like the poster. That's what intrigues me to want to see a DC animated film is the poster. The artwork they do is very. I think it's beautiful to be honest. Well, I just think it looks awesome. They do a great job with it. So anyway, to this movie, let's see, production. Really Never Wear My Power was announced in October 2021. Remember, this is, with these movies, the direct to video. So, they're in the second DC fandom. Ellen Hodge, who was cast as Hawkman in the DC Extended Universe from Black Adam, was cast as John Stewart, along with the rest of the voice cast. Brian Bloom replaces Charlie Weber as Adam Strange, with the voice of character in DC Showcase Adam Strange, which I've never seen. One person said it's not giving John Stewart a backstory, a satisfying backstory, and not fulfilling the potential of its comic book inspiration. Yeah. But for the voice cast, though, of the movie, this film, let's see. The film does contain elements such as Parallax taking over Al Jordan from several DC comic storylines. Like, this will be a spoiler, so if you've never seen this movie, don't watch it. Don't watch this review if you've never seen it. But anyway, Emerald Twilight, the 1994 storyline from comic books, and another 1995 storyline called Zero Hour Crisis in Time, written by Dan Jurgens, and 2005 storyline Ranthager War, written by Dave Gibbons. For the voice cast, you have Alice Hodge as John Stewart, Green Lantern. The character was created by Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams. Alice Hodge is the voice. I mean, he does a really good job though. Well, let's see. He wasn't black. It says, he was in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Didn't know that. Which, by the way, turned 30 this year. Big Mama says he was a basketball team today. Probably was kidding that. And a good day to Die Hard. Okay, he was in that too. And in Black Adam, he played Carter Hawkman and Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson, which came out the same year. And he also voiced John Stewart again in The Power Ring. Jimmy Simpson as Oliver Queen, Green Arrow. He did a movie called Loser, Stay Alive, Herbie Fully Loaded, Zodiac, The Death and Return of Superman, short film. And he voiced Green Arrow again in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm guessing all three parts. I liked Ahmed Hamna as Martian Manhunter. He was in Mortal Kombat, Legend of Battle of the Realms, doing voice work. In Justice League World, voicing Martian Manhunter again. Also voiced the character again in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. But not just that, Amazing Man and Professor Ivo. Brian Bloom as Adam Strange. Yeah, yeah, Brian Bloom. Let's see. For that, Once Upon a Time in America, The Stove, Vampire Lena. That's a superhero film I probably could have reviewed. That was like 1996 when that came out. I've never seen it, but it's got the actors in it from A License to Kill, and he Jesse Crescent he voiced Ultraman, and the A Team he was in that the 2010 movie. Brock Pike. Okay, I think I remember that. Yeah, he voiced Frank Castle, the Punisher, and Avengers Competition Black Widow and Punisher. I mean Black Widow and the Punisher, voicing Castle, aka the Punisher, and voiced Adam Strange once again, Jesse Crescent on Vinny Earth. I do remember him in the A Team. Yeah, yeah, the one that gets killed by B.A. Baracus. Yeah. Jamie Gray Hyder as Shuri Hall, Hawk Girl. Says she was in Law and Order, and she also voiced Hawk Girl, Young Diana, and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, all three parts. Jason J. Lewis as Gauntlet. Yeah. Let's see. Justice League Action. He voiced Superman, General Zod, some other DC characters. Nolan North as Al Jordan, Green Lantern, Parallax. Nolan North, you probably should know him as the voice of Nathan Drake in the Uncharted games. Yeah. And also voiced the Penguin in the Batman Arkham franchise, like Batman Arkham City. And probably Arkham Origins too. And Arkham Knight, I'm guessing. Casey Sharp, and had a cameo in Uncharted as well. The movie that came out, what, 2021 with Tom Holland? Yeah. Casey Sharp as Vixen. Character I've seen a few times in the Arrowverse. Casey Sharp, let's see. Is she done? Malibu's Most Wanted. Leprechaun 2, Back to the Hood. Why Did I Get Married? And then she came back as a character in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. All three parts. Simon Tippelman as Sadarth. Uh, did some voice for some television series, cartoon shows, and oh, well, Fantastic Four. He voiced in the Incredible Hulk from the '90s anime series. He voiced Doctor Doom. Rick D. Wasman as Sinestro. Planet Hulk, he voiced Hulk. Cats and Dogs, he voiced The Revenge of Kitty Galore. He voiced Emma Rain in Batman: The Killing Joke, Batman on Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 and 2, I guess, voiced a bodyguard. And he voiced the comedian in Watchmen Chapter 1 and 2. See, sorry. Batman Arkham City, he voiced Clayface. In Origins, he voiced Penguin's Thugs and Black Mass Thugs. Okay, and that's it for the voice cast. And the film was written by Jeff Webster, written by John Simper. Also worked on some of. He's best known for being both producer and the head writer on television series Spider-Man the Animated Series. And Pink Panther and Sons, Super Friends, The Legendary Superheroes, the show, the Smurfs cartoon, the Jetsons cartoon, and the Incredible Hulk animated series as well, and the Rugrats as well. Based on Never Nights by Ron Mercedes. I already read some of that. So Sam Register, let's see. I think he's produced some of these movies before. Yeah, Justice League Hearts on Tours, Scooby-Doo Campfire, and some of the Tom and Jerry animated films, and Scooby-Doo one and one for the Jetsons as well. Jetsons WWE, Robo WrestleMania, and Batman Super Sons. This movie, and Watchmen Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 that came out last year. Edited by Bruce A. King, music by Kevin Ribble. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. The music for Shrek 2, the game. Uh, Sky High, he did the music score for that. Silent Night, Batman Unlimited, Monster Mayhem, and Animal Instincts, MX vs. Mutants, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Turtles, Destro Knights and Dragons, Superman Man of Tomorrow, just decided World War II, this movie, and Justice League Crisis on Infinite. I guess just part one. Production company is Warner Brother Animation, DC Entertainment, Warner Brother Entertainment. It premiered at the on July 22nd in San Diego, but it was released direct to video on July 26th on DVD and Blu-ray on 4K. Yeah, on the film's running time, the film is sorry, I didn't say, but the film is 84 minutes long. Well, my DVD Blu-ray here says about 87 minutes long. But I'll tell you the plot synopsis of the movie. And before I talk about the movie itself, there will be spoilers in this review. You can listen to me talk about the plot synopsis, stories, what the film is about. But if you've never seen Green Lantern: Where My Power, don't watch this review. Or if you don't know who the character John Stewart is, well, I don't know much about the film. So if you've never seen the Justice League cartoon, then don't watch this review or Unlimited. But anyway, so the plot synopsis for this movie, for Green Lantern: Where My Power, the story is that Marine veteran John Stewart, is chosen to become a member of the Green Lantern Corps. Following the apparent death of Al Jordan, following leading Stewart to be caught in the middle of a reigning Theragon War, is aided by Justice League member Green Arrow and Raymond hero Adam Strange, which or she's Strange in the poster, yeah, Adam Strange, and the Theragon warrior Sheria Hall, aka Hawk Girl, not Hawk Girl, Hawk Girl. And he has to learn how to use his powers. He's the one to really be Green Lantern, but he learns over the film goes. He learns to become a Green Lantern and what it means to be a Green Lantern. And they have to fight Sinestro and his team who are playing something devastated. But there's a lot more to the story, as you find out. Something is up with Al Jordan. He's doing some certain things that's questionable. But there's a bigger part, there's a bigger play, bigger high stakes in the film that John Stewart to become finally a Green Lantern, and that he's to face a bigger threat than Sinestro. So that's the story for you, a little plot synopsis for you. So if you've never seen the film, turn the review off right now. Do not spoil it for yourself. That's why I'm warning you. Yeah, you don't want to spoil the film for yourself. Excuse me. All right, before I talk about the movie itself, hold on, we're in 15 minutes. Okay, that's a well. All right. So I want to talk again. If you've never seen Green Lantern, Beware My Power, beware of this review. There are spoilers in this review, and I'll put it in the description box below too. So before you watch my reviews, folks, if you want, definitely read the description box below. Tell you about the spoilers. I always say, hey, by the way, guys, there's spoilers in this review. So anyway, the film is off. We meet John Stewart. Like I said, he's a veteran. He's a Marine. You see him at war with the Taliban, or I don't know if it's the Taliban, but whatever. And he's like a sniper. Yeah, and this movie is very well. It is PG-13. Does have strong violence play messages. I won't recommend it for children, but this movie does have blood in it. Characters do get killed. People do die in this movie. Yeah, it's not really a movie aimed for kids. Now with the Justice League cartoon, they tone down the violence, but this movie, with these DC animated movies, direct-to-video movies, they do go strong on with the violence, and you see blood. So you might not like the kids watching this. I'm just saying, it's PG-13. You just might want to be cautious of that. Well, I definitely won't recommend watching Deathstroke because that is full-blown rated R. You know, yeah. But you see him fighting, one of the Taliban members. They sneak up on him, shoots one of them, one's about to stab him. You assume he killed the guy. And because of that, you just see him nowadays present just in the city, just, you know, remembering that. I think he has PTSD. Some guy just like, hey, move, man, get out of the way. And some guy grabs him, he like, grabs him. He's like, I'm sorry. That happens. Like, what's wrong with you, man? And he walks away. He's like, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Have a good night. Walks away and he sees these two thugs beating up on a homeless man. They're gonna burn him alive, and John Stewart decides to take them on. They stop doing that. And he fights with them. The cops show up, and these cops are assholes because they arrest him. I'm like, really? He just did your job for you. Oh, you can't go around attacking people. What about trying to save a homeless man from getting burned? Even though the homeless man runs away, so I mean, that's what it. But and these guys are trying to kill him too, attacking him as well. They arrest him, but when the cops learn that he's a Marine, and it'll be social media to go crazy about it, they decide to let him go. Even though they should have arrested those thugs in the first place. I'm like, really? Now those now those thugs are gonna go beat up on some other old man. I'm like, you cops suck in this movie. So John's gonna go home later that night, and then he witnesses a spaceship crashing near his house. You assume it's the Guardian, and saying that the ring it chose you. And so let me take you to the hospital, and the Guardian dies, and you see him decay, and his body burns, and the ship burns. And the Power Ring talks to him. He's like, John Stewart, I've chosen you, and he gets on like, get off me. And he creates like a hammer because you can with the ring he can create anything with his mind, but John just wants it off. He's like, is there anybody that he's like, is there anybody that can help me take this off? Yes, the Justice League. So he takes him to the Watchtower. Well, he flies him up there. The ring just flies him up in the sky to space. Of course, you know using the green abilities and gets the green suit. With a lantern. In the chest. It flies him up there. He's like, hey, where are you taking me? Are you talking to me? Yes. Who else am I talking to? Well, by addressing me, call me Ring. He's like, okay, Ring, is this there? And then you have Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, and Vixen there. Uh, Usually when they get an intruder, Justice League has to watch how goes off. But it doesn't because he's a Green Lantern. That's why it doesn't go off. So Vixen tries to attack him, fights her back, fights Green Arrow, first Martian Manhunter, puts a decent fight. And he's like, whoa, whoa, I'm not here to fight. because I guess Martian Manhunter reads his mind, knowing that he's not a threat, and tell him that he needs to help to get this ring off, and they tell him to take him to Oa. And I like it when Green Arrow went over when Ollie says that he sucks at fighting on this. I'm not going with him. We'll go to Oa. Tells him who he is, and tells him, of course, I'm going down Jordan. And Green Arrow suspects that he's lying. They say he might have done something to Al, who is, of course, a member of the League and a friend of Green Arrow. And the Justice League need help with certain stuff, but they haven't been able to contact the Green Lantern Corps or the Guardians for quite some time, for maybe like over a year. So they decided to investigate it. Yeah, the Flash and Superman and Wonder Woman they're on missions, and of course Batman does his own thing. They're mentioning these characters, but you don't see them, not in this film. They go to the Guardian shipwreck. He's got them like in a boat, flying with the ring. He's like, slow it down, and Green Arrow falls. He's like, can you throw that thing? They go in the ship. It's not burned. It's a perfectly well ship. And he just tells the ring to start it off. And I like when Green Arrow's like, come on, start it up. And it works. John also learns the history of the Green Lantern Corps. Learns about the Guardians, that the most powerful being on Earth. They created the Green Lantern Corps. That the galaxy need to be, have the kind of like police, for instance. That's what the Lanterns are. Hmm. And they find the dead bodies. They go to Oa, but Oa is like been attacked. And you find out all the Guardians and all the Lanterns are dead. You see statues of them, including Sinestro, who trained Al Jordan to be Green Lantern, but went insane because he didn't agree with the Guardians of their ways. He thinks things done even more in a violent way. But he becomes a psychopath basically, and he sees the statue of Al Jordan, who was like the first human Green Lantern. Yeah. And they're trying to find out who this is. Oliver does find a power battery, but meanwhile, then Hawkgirl shows up to fight them. Joe puts a pretty good fight, and John, like I said, with the ring, he creating thing with his mind, he creates like a tank, like a war tank, and almost, comes close to crushing her with it. Is suffocating her. And Green Arrow's like, stop, stop, you're gonna kill her. I was like, sorry. Hawker's like, you should have killed me, and she tells him that, you know, she thinks that it belongs to this Reign's forces, which are an enemy. That her people, she's from. She tells them that who she is, Cheerio Hall, and that Thanagar, she's a Thanagarian. That her people are at war with the Reign, and she thought they were with the Reign forces. They did plan to shoot, but then they joined forces to build what do you call it, a Seder beam to boost the economy and technology of both wars. But however, it turned out she tells them that it turns out to be a disaster. Al Jordan, Green Lantern, was there as well, but they presume he got killed by the beam. And eventually, this started a war. That the Reigns started this. I guess they were trying to coexist peacefully, get by building a machine to help both wars, like I mentioned. But this happened, and Huck was like, "Okay, well, don't touch me. Don't say anything bad to me. Then I'll hit you with my maze, okay?" So they take off. Hmm. And then their plan is, the war's been going on ever since with them. So John and Oliver decide to take her with them to investigate it. Uh, John also is able to kind of is like a Green Lantern where he can play a game with it, which is really really cool. So the Green Lantern's power battery, which is he has to say the oath. At first he thinks it's a cheesy oath to say, but he does say in Bright State, it's like as night. Movie shows him, and he says it, and it powers up his ring. And the ring, of course, lets him know when he's powering up. I like that the ring can talk to him. I really like that though. Like the ring gives the ring a personality. I mean, I'm sure it does before, but it didn't in the 2011 movie. I don't think it did in the. I don't remember. I don't think it did in First Flight. But that was cool that they added that in here. Then they wrap up this Radiant Post, but they do find a guy named Adam Strange, and since he's Raina, him and Hawkgirl start to fight, and you know, Green Arrow like shoots him with an arrow to tie him up. Because Green Arrow he can make his arrows out of bombs, smoke gas, rope, or a parachute even I believe too. But Green, John with the ring just stops starting fighting. Like we need to talk to him. We need to question him first and find out what he's doing here. And did he have anything to do with this, or is he behind it? He was, of course, like the champion of the ring, but he's presumed dead. But apparently he's alive. He explains to them that the Zeta beam randomly teleported him from his planet during the war, and spent years trying to learn when the Zeta beam would hit him again to return him to his daughter. Sorry, excuse me. Following that, Green Lantern, of course, is gone. So everyone helped with that, and John tells them that they're dead, so that he has to go with them, and they're gonna go try to talk to the Rainans and his people, get this matter settled. And since Rain does have an alliance with Oa, they're gonna take him to his high command. They eventually get to Rain, but then they see all these dead soldiers in space. Anytime they talk to Rain, they talk to this Sardath, who's a Rain scientist who has a ship, and he calls Hot Girl his prisoner, and she's like, "I'm not a prisoner." Tells them that they're building this at a beam and they're going to destroy Thanagar, kill them once for all. I was like, "No, we can make peace. We don't need to do that. It's just crazy. You're going to kill innocents." But eventually he dies in the ship. But they also learn that the Raina ship, they said, oh, it was also attacked Rain, but in disguise that they're going to ship. Just to start a war, you could say that someone is planning adding fuel to the fire for this war. They eventually go to the ship in a hidden base. They fight. They fight this group of Yellow Lanterns that is led by Sinestro. You have this one where you can like create weapons and chains. John Stewart tries to fight her, and he's got this one character, Lantern, that can like read his mind. You yell Lantern, tries to read his mind, but John stops him. John comes close to, you know, anything with a ring, like use a sword. And Hagor's like, kill him. He's like, no. But until, Sinestro sneaks up behind him, knocks him out. And like I said, Sinestro was worse than Green Lantern himself. But the Yellow Lantern has an opposite and more negative effect on them. And again, he didn't agree with their ways, so he used the Yellow Lantern. Is going to use it to destroy Oa. And believe that the Guardians are liars. Wants to destroy them. Yeah. And John tries to get, Sinister puts him in this prison, takes away his ring as well, his Green Lantern ring, determined to destroy that ring and all the Green Lanterns. John tries to touch the cage, but unless you do something, he's like, unless you want to be turned into dust, don't do it again. He's like, I need you for something, so I have to keep you alive. And then they see Al Jordan, who is alive and well. He's been there for maybe a year, a good while. And and Green Arrow's happy to see him. Oliver's like, I don't have a seat. He's like, hey, Ollie, I'm doing okay. Been tortured here a bit, trying to figure out what to do. He says that he's been digging a hole that he's trying to get out of this cage for a while. He explains that Sinestro was responsible for the accident with the Zeta beam because he snuck onto the ship, survived the beam's energy before going unconscious and getting trapped by Sinestro. So he took his ring and he passed out. And then Sinestro ever since kept him as a prisoner. And when he finds out about you know, they tell him that it's been, that always been destructed. It's been all of them are dead. He's upset about it, but Seymour's somewhat surprised about it. They tell him about Cerdos and the guy they were talking to earlier, and the war killer weapon. However, though Sinestro was listening, so he says to find this weapon as well. He's like, thank you for the information. And Hot Girl gives Al Jordan, Al the knife, which is a real knife, even to break rocks. And when Sinestro's crew, Al like sneezes on him, he's like, can I borrow he borrows the Hot Girl's mace. He sneezes up the guy, he hits him in the back. Al like hits him in the leg a couple times, and then just slams the guy in the face and just kills him. And Green Oliver's like, wow, you just killed him? Well, that's what happens to a man, though, when he's been tortured for many months and all that stuff. Ollie, I'm sorry. But No Time to Please, I had no choice. Even though he's like, that's suspicious of all we do. Because Justice League doesn't kill. Not their members. They're superheroes. They're heroes. They don't murder, except for murder. They do get the ship, and Al is able to tell. Al tells John that he needs to summon it. The ring. He uses it with his mind. He's also summons Green arrows, and Green Arrows and Presley. And then they take off. They go to Ram. Sinestro's forces are attacking the planet already, trying to get the weapon. Strange contacts the High Command and explains the truth of the attacks. They find out, I was like, are you really alive, Adam Strange? And they take his DNA. But he wants to put an end to the conflict, so Zerda is determined to kill the Thanagars once and for all, planning to murder them. He's like, you can't do this. He's like, just a minute to it, talk him out of it, but he doesn't listen. He's like, boy, thanks for your help. And Adam Strange doesn't remember. He's like, what? He's like, you helped me create this beam with your DNA. So we have you to thank for this. Before anything more says, Sinestro and his crew and his Yellow Lantern corpse, yeah, crew, whatever. They attack them. They fight them a bit. Leonardo tries to shoot arrows at the girl, one of the Yellow Lanterns, and she like is able to shoot the arrows almost back at him. uh, Excuse me. I'm so sorry for the burping in this video. Excuse me. But John tries to fight with Sinestro. Sinestro was not an easy fight. Sinestro just blocks his move like this. And Sinestro's a good fighter. He's a good villain. He's not just somebody you can take down very easily. He's good hand-to-hand combat, as you can see in this movie. But he takes the ring. It's just like, finally, I've killed the last of the lanterns. And it's going to try to use a sword, use a knife to stab John. But he grabs the lantern, and self-defense, he gets the ring to like cut Sinestro on the side of the stomach here. And he kills Sinestro, and he's like, damn you made me do this. He had no choice because Sinestro was going to kill him in that moment, so he really had no choice. Didn't want to kill him though. And all the other lanterns, Green Arrow's up to take one guy out. Hawk Girl takes one guy out, and so does Adam Strange take the one of them out. So about one. But Al also mercifully kills one of the Sinestro. But well, sadistically, you can say he is one of them about to strangle him. Al like pow pow shoots him, and just doesn't stop there. Just pow pow shoots him like five times, and like pow 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 like 7 more times. And he's like, "Ow, what was that?" He's like, "No time mercy for these weaklings, you know. Ain't got time for that." Yeah. But he also runs away from the battle, which is suspicious, you could say. Like I said, this was spoilers review. Yeah. Why would he run away from the battle? But John's able to like knock out one of the lanterns and get a gun because he finds something suspicious going on. But he also says his master would kill them. Yeah. So Sador, yeah, they found out, find out Sador. Uh, John's able to find out that Al has been lying to them the whole time. Yeah. That he knows about the Zeta Beam cannon. So Jordan shoots Sardis, in the head. Just up and murders him. It's like, wow. I like how they made Al Jordan a villain in this, though. I really do. And basically, he says that on the day of his death, Sinestro infected him with a parallax entity, turning him to a slave. But however, that didn't go the way it wanted. Instead, he got all the rings, becoming mostly powerful, and Sinestro tries to fly away, but like using the rings, he's able to like create a big hand to grab him and makes Sinestro, his slave instead. So he becomes Sinestro's master. But together they attacked Oa and they killed the Green Lanterns. But Jordan became more powerful after stealing the rings, overpowered Sinestro, becoming his master. He basically becomes like he's like I'm a god now, and he wants to reshape the universe by destroying rain, and well, they're gonna end the Earth. Wants to destroy all of it, kill a lot of innocents, saying that he wants to build a better universe. You see him turn like become like a monster Green Lantern, for instance, a monster lantern. His goal is to create a new universe with no war and conflict, which his plans, is a world destroyer basically by destroying Rain and they're gone. Well, destroy not Earth, but wouldn't be surprised though. John and Al fight. Uh, First, John is no great. I mean, again, he's still inexperienced in here at times. You can't put a fight again and again. Remember, he's a Marine veteran, so he does know how to fight. But he's not. He does become a little bit. He starts to become better. He's like, and I was like, I'm right. You can make a better universe. You're the way sick of it is way too. We can make it so much better. He's like, no, refuse to think that way because this is wrong. And he starts to get John gets up ahead of the fight. And he's like, and then he says the green light. He's like, brightest day and darkest night and blackest night. Nobody should see him. I say, but those who worship equals might, more my power. And when it turns to light, it knocks Al out. And Al, still wakes up, attacks him again. He's got a knife from from his from his ring. He's able to create like a knife and tries to kill him. And in Green Arrow shoots him in the arrow in the heart, killing him. And he's like, I regret doing that. He's like, don't beat yourself up over it. You had to do what you had to do. You had no choice. Al was gone already. This was now Jordan, basically, is what he's saying. Basically, he kills Al and ended for good. So they couldn't find a way to stop the Zeta Beam, so Adam Strange gets himself killed, sacrifices himself before his are gone. Then after that, the remaining heroes, Green Arrow, Hawkgirl, they go back to Earth, they bid farewell. Hawkgirl's like, John Stewart, anytime they're gonna need the Green Lantern, we'll give you a call. He's like, okay, I'll be there. You know, and him and Green Arrow say, hey, want to get something to eat? after all this, hang out. And he assumes that they'll become friends, and yeah. And as John looks to his future as becoming a new Green Lantern, and sets the rings off that he gets from Al's dead body, his corpse, and sets out the rings to go find new recruits, rebuild the Green Lantern Corps, and they're gonna go toast to their new friendship, and then the movie ends there. So yeah, so that's Green Lantern. Oops. So that's Green Lantern for Wearing My Power. Let me give my final opinion on this movie, folks. Before I do, yeah, Green Lantern for Wearing My Power, really good movie. I love this film. It was really good. But I do have a little bit of issues. Before I get to that, though, I do like the story of seeing Jon Stewart. I'm glad they brought Jon Stewart into an anime movie. I hope they bring him in live action one day too, because I do like the character Jon Stewart. I've liked the character ever since the Justice League cartoon. I've always liked the character as well. You the guy Aldous Hodge, who again I think did a great job in Black Adam, which came out the same year. I think this was July. Well, that was in October when that came out, but he was great in that too, especially working with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson in that movie. And the awesome thing about that movie, gosh, I'm sorry, damn, I'm burping away, and I'm sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm disgusting. It's just my stomach a little reading. Yeah, sorry. You get Pierce Brosnan's Darker Fate in that movie. But anyway, we're not talking about Black Adam. I'm talking about this movie right now. But this film did have a good story. I like, you know, seeing Green Lantern team up. I like that they made Al Jordan a villain. It does have an interesting story. I do think the story's good. The film is entertaining. I think it's well directed. The script is pretty good. Um, the editing I thought was good. The action is real good. The animation is real nice to look at. The animation is good. I like the animation for these movies. And I love the artwork on this cover. Artwork for the film is it's awesome. I think it's very beautifully, well made. Whoever creates these DC posters, kudos to you. They always do a great job with it. Musical was pretty good too. I completely remember, but I thought it was good. Yeah, and for being 84 minutes long, yeah, the film's only 1 hour and 24 minutes, so it's not that long of a film. It is pretty good with the story if you can keep up with the story. But I like seeing Sinestro. But Sinestro, he's not the main villain here, which is fine. He was the main villain in First Flight, so it was fine. I'm glad they took a twist with the story without Jordan being the villain. I did not expect that with this movie. They got me good with that. I'm like, I guess it was in comics. I've never read the comics, but either way, it's good. Now my problems. I could agree they do need to work maybe more on the backstory, and maybe this should be Jon Stewart's own. I mean, I like being. No complaint. I like Green Arrow being there. Hawk Girl, I like her being there too. But I don't think you needed. They didn't. Adam Strange character I didn't care about. I didn't really find him interesting. Just a very bland character. I just didn't care for Adam Strange too much. When he sacrificed himself, I was like, okay, big deal. I didn't really care about him much anyway. And there's this war going on. I get it. The film jumps right into adventure. It kind of reminds me of Star Wars a little bit, like he's getting the Green Lantern. But that's what I like about the Green Lantern 2011 movie. You know, even though I say I like this more, I'll probably go Green Lantern 2011. I know people think I'm crazy, but whatever. Because first of all, that is basically an origin story, and of him learning to deal with fear. Because we are afraid of something. We all deep down can be afraid of what we have to fight. Sometimes or what we're coming up against. And that movie was about overcoming fear. But in this movie, they could have worked more on the story. I think. I'm not saying the story was bad. I'm just saying maybe you could have Green Arrow and the Justice League there. It's fine. But this should be more like a Jon Stewart story. I do agree with the critics on that. The one critic who said that. Yeah. The backstory could be even more satisfying here for the character. Jumping into the adventure and this war going on. But I mean, it was interesting. It was good. But I just wanted the film to be more about him, Jon Stewart, and his backstory. But again, we get bits of that of him in the military and stuff. Yeah, I hate that we didn't see the Guardians movie. I get it. I guess that's from the comics, but whatever. I do think we could have kept them alive, and you know, but I do. If it does have a good story, I just think they could have. The backstory for him was not very satisfying. I agree. I agree with that. With the person who said that on here when I was reading about it. Yeah, it needs to be more satisfying with the character. This is more his movie. He is the main character here. Focus it on him. But I did like the story about the whole war thing going on. It was entertaining, so I'm not complaining completely. It didn't bore me or whatever. It's a very entertaining movie. And the pacing I thought was good. Yeah, pacing is good, I agree. And the action is good. Animation is well done as well. Let me see. Yeah, the pacing, the action, and the cast, especially Hodge, as John Stewart, yeah, he did a great job, I thought. Phil LaMarr, though, I think to me is the best voice for the character from Justice League the cartoon anime series and Justice League versus Unlimited. I think he also did the voice of the character in Justice League Static Shock. Yeah, I need to watch that cartoon. I've seen that show before. I need to, but anyway, yeah, still my favorite voice. But Alice Hodge, he did a great job though. I'm not complaining. Yeah, I just wish they would have worked on the story. Maybe you could have saved the whole thing with Al Jordan in a sequel, and maybe focus on the film being an origin story for the character a little bit, or how like Al Jordan trained him or whatever. Have a different story. Just keep the focus on him. Yeah, and then him have joined Justice League a little afterwards. I would have had a story where this would all would happen to him in the beginning. He meets Al Jordan, meets the Guardians, and they're like, "Oh, you're the first Black Green Lantern." I do think they could have played more of that from the comics. I don't know too much about the comics, but I think they did, and maybe Jordan could have trained him. They have some war coming up. Maybe Sinestro's back to fight, and there's something up, and him and Jordan team up, and at the end, Fisher becomes a Green Lantern and gets to be a member of the Justice League, meets the League, and becomes a member. You could have had maybe like Superman or Wonder Woman there. They could have invited him to join up when they needed him. And maybe if you would have made a sequel to this, you could have had the story here, which would have made more sense. To me, at least. But the story was good. I'm not complaining. Believe me, guys, it's better than Thor Love and Thunder. It's not like it's a comedy. It does have comedy in it. Not comedy always the whole time, but there's no woke, there's no agenda here. It's entertaining though. I just think you need to work on the story of the character, on the satisfying story for the character, is what I'm trying to say. You know, before we jump ship to him getting involved in this war. I want to see him learning how to use the power and stuff. Say what you will about 2011 movie, but at least the story was to focus on Al Jordan, which is supposed to be a superhero movie. Is supposed to be your main lead, whether it's an animated movie. It's supposed to be about the lead and their story. That drives the movie. You know, and their journey as we see them go on this journey to becoming the hero they're meant to be. In this case, John Stewart becoming Green Lantern. I just wanted to see that journey a bit more here. I was let down by that, but besides that, it's still an entertaining movie. Anyway, guys, my rating for this film. I'm sorry. Green Lantern Beware My Power. I'm going to rate this film a thumbs up, and my rating for the film is 4 to 5 stars. So, guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think Green Lantern Beware My Power? How would you rank the Green Lantern movies? I'm talking about Green Lantern First Flight from 2009, 2011, 11, both movies Green Lantern and One Nights, and Green Lantern 2011 film starring Ryan Reynolds. In this movie, how would you rank them in your opinion? And who's your favorite actor to play Green Lantern? Well, Al Jordan, I mean. I would say it was Christopher Molina. Yeah, who voiced the. Well, no, I would say Nathan Fillion. I think it was Nathan Fillion or Nolan North who might have voiced the character in All Nights. Probably my favorite. But Christopher Molina, I'm from Law and Order. Stapler from Law and Order Special Victims Unit, I think, voiced Al Jordan in that. He was good, so he's probably my favorite. So I'm just gonna run that down. But live action wise, I did like Ryan Reynolds. I thought Ryan Reynolds was good in the role. Yeah, the CGI doesn't really hold up in that movie, especially with the suit. But the suit was fine. I thought in that film. Again, it's not that worse. It was definitely a better movie than Thor: Love and Thunder, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, yeah, and also, what's your favorite version of the character for John Stewart? The Justice League cartoons, voiced by Phil LaMarr, are voiced here by Alice Hodge. Who do you prefer as the voice of John Stewart? And what's your favorite interpretation of the character in the Justice League cartoon or this movie of John Stewart, in your opinion? And who's your favorite actor to play or voice Al Jordan? And how would you rank the Green Lantern movies in your opinion? And are you a fan? Have you ever read any comics? Because I never have. Would like to. And do you think that they should make another Green Lantern animated movie or a reboot? Yeah, I know he's gonna be in Guy Gardner. The Guy Gardner is gonna be the new Superman movie, which I really don't have no interest in. Again, it's just at least one thing I say about this movie: they didn't add too many Justice League. That this Superman, it seems like he's adding too many characters into one movie, which is what I'm worried about with that movie. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. Again, my rating for Green Lantern, Where My Power is a thumbs up, and my rating for the film again is a 4 to 5 stars. So tell me guys how much what you think of it. Stay tuned for the next review tomorrow, which could probably be today or tomorrow. Dang it! Another DC animated film, and I wish I saw this film in theaters. I heard good things about it, and it was really good. This came out, I think, in July as well. I got it on Blu-ray plus DVD, and that is DC League of Super Pets. Yes, really love this film. This movie really surprised me of how good it was. But DC League of Super Pets, I'll get to that when I get to that. But this is another DC animated film. Wish I would have saw this film in theaters as well. I saw this movie in theaters, but I didn't. Anyway, that's DC League of Super Pets. This will be next. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, that'll be my next review, and stay tuned for that. And DC League of Super Pets, definitely look forward to reviewing that. That movie really surprised me. And tell me in the comments down below what do you think of Green Lantern, The Way of My Power. Once again, my rating for the film was 4 to 5 stars and thumbs up. I will put my rating for the film in the description box below as well. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for my review, the next superhero review, the 2022 superhero animated film, DC League of DC League of Super Pets, which is next. Stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye.